Hello and welcome to the EDPF Property Academy. I am Nigel Adrianse, your host, and today we'll be talking about fractional ownership. Starting from as little as 10 Rand, anybody can now access real estate investment opportunities, usually only restricted to the wealthy. So let's begin. What is fractional property investment? Fractional property investment is an affordable way to build wealth as a collective. A group of smaller investors can collectively buy properties through an investment vehicle such as a company, trust, cooperative, partnership, or any other legal form. Simply put, it is the joint ownership of any asset by more than one individual or legal entity. It can be seen as a structured syndication method whereby a number of shareholders own shares in a particular company, which in turn owns an asset. So, why is fractional ownership a good way to invest in property? There are many advantages in buying an investment property in a fractional ownership scheme. However, the main benefit is that property is expensive and many people cannot afford to purchase property by themselves. By buying into such a scheme, it lowers the barrier to entry into the property investment space. Rather than come up with a significant down payment yourself, you can split the cost among a few investors. If you have enough money, you can buy the property outright in cash and avoid taking out any mortgage bond. What are the benefits of fractional ownership? Any increase in the value of property accrues to the shareholders. Affordable ownership in an exclusive property portfolio, and no need to look for tenants as the work is done by the managers. There's also no need to worry about expenses as the manager looks after all of this. Day-to-day management, maintenance, and tenant inquiries are all dealt with by the managers. And then finally, paperwork and legal requirements are sorted by the managers as well. Finding tenants, lease management, renewals are all negotiated and secured by the managers, and rent collection is taken care of on your behalf. In fact, all you have to do is sit back and enjoy your share of the profits and portfolio growth. So it's often asked if there are any risks if I should invest in a fractional ownership scheme. Like most investments, there are risks. However, they are fewer than when compared to investing in traditional buy to let, student accommodation, or any other property investment if you do it by yourself. These risks can be mitigated if management withholds a portion of monthly income before distributions so as to cover any unforeseen vacancies or expenses. The risk can further be mitigated if the group invests in a diversified portfolio such as residential, Airbnb, student accommodation, and commercial in a combined way. Then there are different types of fractional ownership models. Today we will only deal with the four biggest ones. The first one being stokvels, then there are crowdfunding models, cooperatives, and finally real estate syndicates. It is your choice to decide which of these types of models you want to use when you start to invest in property. Stokvels started out as group saving schemes that were popular among groups of like-minded people who shared the same goals to meet short-term needs. These could have included buying groceries or school supplies at the end of the year, for example. However, stokvels are fast becoming a way for the new generation of investors to build wealth and invest in property. Every month, quarter, half yearly, or even annually, property stokvel members will invest a fixed amount of money to grow the capital base of the collective for the purpose of purchasing property together. Crowdfunding, on the other hand, is the practice of funding a project or venture by raising money from a large number of people who each contribute a relatively small amount, typically via the internet. Musicians, filmmakers, and artists have successfully raised funds and fostered awareness through crowdfunding. Property owners are also now using this method to raise capital for their investment projects by bringing together family and friends to buy property in a collective through crowdfunding. The difference between the two is that a stokvel member pays in the same amount on a regular basis, while the crowdfunding model, members pay in whatever they can afford whenever they want. Cooperatives are people-centered enterprises owned, controlled, and run by and for their members to realize their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations. Cooperatives bring people together in a democratic and equal way. Whether the members are the customers, employees, users, or residents, cooperatives are democratically managed by the one member, one vote rule. Members share equal voting rights regardless of the amount of capital that they've put into the enterprise. Real estate syndication involves pooling funds from multiple investors to purchase a property. A lead investor or syndicator manager manages the investment, handling acquisitions, management, and eventual property sale. It is important to note, though, that real estate syndications are generally only available to accredited investors, typically individuals or entities that meet certain financial criteria, such as having a high net worth, significant annual income, or professional investment experience. These criteria are set to ensure that investors have the financial ability to understand and bear the risks associated with these types of investments. So finally, it's your decision whether you want to invest through one of these methods in a fractional ownership scheme. I hope you've enjoyed this short presentation on fractional ownership, and also that you'll join us again next time when we present these 4 different units in a more in-depth way. Thank you for listening. This is Nigel Adriansa, your host, signing out again.